Hello, church, and welcome back to our daily devotion for July 20th. I used a couple of pop culture images in describing our portion of Song of Songs, including but not limited to Shakespeare in Love and this interaction where the two actors with the woman disguised as a young man, Thomas Kent, Viola, who's a lady, a royal lady and betrothed and all this sort of stuff, where he is starting to, the character of William Shakespeare is describing this woman that he has become infatuated with, who is in fact the woman herself. And she starts to call him out on his level of perfectionism as he is describing her. So that was a kind of a fun part. The other piece that I had in the back of my head, but couldn't quite pull up front on the spot, was a song by the Shangri-Las, the leader of the pack, probably most famous for its motorcycle engine revving. But it starts out with this back and forth between the singer and the backup singers. Is she really going out with him? Well, there she is. Let's ask her. Betty, is that Jimmy's ring you're wearing? Uh-huh. I bet it's really fun riding with him. Is he going to pick you up today? Uh-huh. Where'd you meet him? And then telling this whole story. So where we find ourselves in Song of Songs, and this is a part of the broader section that Weems identifies from chapter 5, verse 2 through 6, verse 13. There's a lot of poetic section here, but we have this, the protagonist has either a dream or a fantasy about not having her beloved come to the door, not getting to the door quick enough, and then going out and searching for him. She has an encounter with the sentinels again, this one far less positive, and gets mistreated. She adjures the daughters of Jerusalem, and then eventually tells them to go tell her love that she is faint with love. And so then we have this response from kind of the chorus in the background. Why is he so special? And or is that here? Let me do the Weems title for it. We don't get it, what's it is, and then we have the description from the protagonist of her love, her beloved. And what we're going to hit today in our first portion of 1 to 3 is them asking the question, so where is this guy that you're talking about? We want to go see this guy for ourselves. And then we get some more interplay and kind of without, at least that I saw, without any warning, we're going to be hearing from the shepherd again and even repeating some of the things that we saw in the oasis we saw in chapter 4. So here we go for our first portion of scripture. Where has your beloved gone, O fairest among women? Which way has your beloved turned that we may seek him with you? My beloved has gone down to his garden, to the beds of spices, to pasture his flock in the gardens and to gather lilies. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. He pastures his flock among the lilies. The Jerusalem daughter's interest is piqued. Where has your beloved gone, O fairest among women? Which way has your beloved turned that we may seek him with you? They want a glance at him for themselves, but the protagonist is oblique about his whereabouts, alluding once more to the image of the garden, their private and sensuous utopia, insisting that the two of them belong to each other and to no one else. Pastor Nick translation. Hands off, ladies, he's mine. All right. And then as we step into 4 to 10, we hear once again the shepherd's description of this person. In these verses, the shepherd extols his black-skinned lover's beauty. Here he repeats and expands upon much of the imagery he used to describe her in 4:1-3. He admires the maiden's flowing hair like a flock of goats moving down the slopes of Gilead, her perfect teeth like a flock of ewes, all of them bear twins and not one of them is bereaved, and her blushing cheeks like halves of a pomegranate. In his eyes, the maiden is beautiful. Indeed, if there is one thing the Jerusalem daughters and the shepherd agree on, it is that she is physically striking. Now, I think I just skipped over the scripture part, so let me go ahead and give that to you with a little bit of context. You are beautiful as Tisra, my love, comely as Jerusalem, terrible as an army with banners. Turn away your eyes from me, for they overwhelm me. Your hair is like a flock of goats moving down the slopes of Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock of ewes that have come up from the washing. All of them bear twins, and not one of them among them is bereaved. Your cheeks are like halves of a pomegranate behind your veil. There are 60 queens and 80 concubines and maidens without number. My dove, my perfect one, is the only one, the darling of her mother, flawless to her that bore her. The maidens saw her and called her happy, the queens and concubines also, and they praised her. Who is this that looks forth like the dawn, fair as the moon, bright as the sun, terrible as an army with banners? So you, in addition to some of the repeated phrases from 4, you also heard that line twice about terrible as an army with banners. This kind of either fearful or majestic image, and Weems is going to get into that in a little bit. And here, let me go back and finish up this portion now. Indeed, if there, got that. Indeed, if there is one thing the Jerusalem daughters and the shepherd agree on, it's that she is physically striking. Both use various Hebrew word forms to describe the maiden as beautiful. As lovers in this way of praising the woman's beauty, the shepherd reinforces the idea that the maiden is unique, one of a kind. As lovers tend to do, the shepherd gushes with hyperbole and rattles on indecipherably when he talks about love. For example, it is unclear exactly what similarities he has in mind when he compares a black-skinned maiden to an army with banners or bannered troops. And then she gets into the Hebrew for a while and some little other pieces on that. The long and the short part of the story is we're not sure what that phrase is intended to mean. I would go with evoking this overwhelming sense of what is coming. Weems also gets into a little bit that reference to Tisra. The comparison of the protagonist's beauty to two capital cities, Tisra and Jerusalem, though less remarkable, has left a number of commentators baffled. It should not, however, since one finds capital cities symbolized as female throughout the Old Testament. Song of Songs 6:4 stands out because it's the only occurrence where, in the language of linguists, the tenor or the subject and the vehicle, the figurative language, are reversed. Usually in the Old Testament, the capital city, as the tenor, is compared to a woman, the vehicle. Here in verse 4, however, a woman, the tenor and subject, is compared to a capital city in its lavishness and beauty. Weems also gets into the reference to the numbers of mighty warriors and concubines and 60 queens and 80 concubines as uplifting this one fair maiden as the most beautiful of all, and kind of this comparison sort of thing. So we're going to break there for 1 to 10, and we'll be back with you tomorrow as we continue in chapter 6. See ya. Oh, and then a little side note, because I just checked it today. Yesterday for our worship service, we were over at Hosensack Meeting House. The signal was not really good. I normally use my phone as a personal hotspot to broadcast that. And when I checked out the video, it looked really spotchy. So don't think it's something wrong with whatever device you're on. Unfortunately, it was just the signal while it was being recorded and the way that it uploaded. I think I will likely start just recording straight when we are at Hosensack and then posting it afterwards, because it doesn't seem to really be workable. But sorry for that. And yeah, and we'll check you tomorrow as we continue with our devotionals. Bye.